More baseball talk too, but now Canada's national summer sport. The St. Catharines Junior A Athletics regular season begins Wednesday night at home, Canada Games Park, and this season is a big one.
Everybody's talking, the buzz ain't just a beer. Radio man keeps saying, this could be our year. Hold up headlights, team colors across the lawn. Don't matter where you're coming from, we're here to get it gone. It's that hometown crowd, yeah, it's in our blood. And even when the clock runs out, we still raise the cup. It ain't about that hat trick, home run, a big first down. Just looking for a little something we can rally around. Seat in the house, courtside or on the couch, we still get loud.
Good evening and welcome to Tony Rose Arena to kick off the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League final series. It is best of 7 between the Orangeville Northmen, who you see on your screen, and the Whitby Warriors, who are playing their third game in 3 days. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Alan Corkum, and this is how these two teams got here, including Whitby defeating the Toronto Beaches 4-3 last night in Game 7, Alan.
Yeah, they're the cardiac kids of the Whitby Warriors. They were down to the brink of elimination against St. Catharines in the first round. They came back and won that series in 5. Same thing against the Beaches. They were down 3-2. Came back last night. The hero was Julian Belair. Got a goal with 3 minutes left in the third. The game-winning goal held off a big comeback attempt by the Beaches to bring this game one here tonight at the Tony Rose. Third game in 3 nights for the Warriors. Will fatigue be a factor?
Your starting goaltenders, both with NLL experience, Evan Constantopoulos of the Buffalo Bandits, Tyden Redlick of the Seals. You see their numbers on screen, and now we see the game, which is underway. The iconic silver and black of the Orangeville Northmen, red jerseys, blue buckets for the Warriors here in game number 1 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Finals. Tiptoe of the line there for Liam Matthews. He'll bring it down the boards to Trey Deer. Watch out for these two, an absolute dynamic duo with a supporting cast of righties, which includes Dylan Sanderson. Max Kruger was cutting through, as was Owen Ron. Bounces off both of their sticks, and first possession starts with a shot clock violation.
Good defensive stand by the Warriors to start the game as they try to carry that momentum from last night's big Game 7 victory.
As we said, playing 3 in 3 nights. They'll actually play 4 in 5 with the day off tomorrow and Game 2 coming up on Sunday. That means some changes to the lineup, including Ryan Langiel, probably the biggest name out of the lineup, making room for number 22, Nolan Byrne, his return to the playoffs after sitting out all of the semifinals. A little bit snake-bitten that first series with St. Catharines, but the overtime hero in Game 4, and a pretty strong series. Hewitt has to head off here for Whitby. His bucket left laying on the floor. As now over and back. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying it was an over-back violation against the Northmen, so it would be Whitby ball. And yeah, they like to get their legs going early, so maybe fatigue won't be a factor.
Team that's played with their back against the wall most of this playoffs, had to win 2 straight to get past St. Catharines on back-to-back days. Same story to beat the Toronto Beaches. Lucas Littlejohn, the OJLL scoring champion and MVP nominee, as the award nominees were released today. His first shot off the end boards, but kept onside. Littlejohn back with it again to the far side. Nolan Byrne, his first touch of this final knocked off stride from straight up top. Littlejohn took a shot on Constantopoulos, and he'll make the save before flipping it here to Owen Toval.
Late penalty coming up, it looks like, against the Warriors, Matt.
Yeah, I believe too many men, unless we had something behind the play. Matthews through here to Max Kruger. Named in the Rookie of the Year candidacy. probably his to lose. For my money, and it's Aiden Matthews shoots off Tyden Redlick, and the possession will extend here with 6 attackers. Outside Kruger wanted to blast one. Aiden Matthews shoved out from the crease. Now, same story for Deere, couldn't shoot, and it's a tapped back up to center. We'll get the over and back. It's a roughing call from Sean Grenier. He's joined by Kyle Coulter and Josh Hiltz tonight, the 3 officials.
Looks like Bel Air, last night's game-winning hero, will go to the sin bin for 2 minutes or less. He goes off for roughing, so an early power play for the Northmen. They've had some momentum here. They've had a lot of possession early on, Matt, in the first 2:50. They're going to try to get a power play goal to open the scoring in this one.
Not just the hero yesterday. How about game 5 in that St. Catharines series? A 5-goal game from Julian Belair to help put Whitby through that first round and face the Beaches in an epic classic. Outside shot here. Kruger off the shoulder of Redlick, picked up in the corner. Aiden Matthews, his younger brother of Liam, who was directing traffic, now gives to Deere. Little change of the shot there. Bounces off Redlick. Swan song here for Trey Deere and Liam Matthews, who feel like they've played about 8 years of junior now at this point, but same story for Little John and Owen Lee, who are both sharing the rock here.
Now, but Little John has something that both Matthews and Deere want, and that's a Minto Cup title. They were so close last year. They've got that bitter taste in their mouth. They're trying to get back to the dance this year.
By my count, 5 holdouts from that 2022 team. Only time these two teams have met in the finals was back in 2011. Zach Higgins, Dylan Ward amongst a whole slew of other NLL players in that series. Matthews over to Kruger, bounces one off the back glass, and it goes for the over and back. In the last 15 years, we're throwing out 2022 here, that bubble 1-game championship, 2021, excuse me. Last 15 finals, these two teams have combined for 14 entries in that conversation out of the last 15. Only played each other once. Although 10 of those owned by Orangeville. This is their 3rd straight Ontario Final Series. Gabriel Soroketti from outside. Here to Little John. Whitby's first appearance in the final since 2022 when they won the Minto Cup in Brampton. Little John lifts it from outside. 20 seconds left here in the first penalty of the game.
Strong D so far by Whitby in this one, but it's only a matter of time if Northmen keep pressing.
Matthews to Kruger. Behind the back, Dylan Sanderson in the corner. Kruger wanted to shoot, going to hold up with only a handful of seconds left. They'll just burn out the rest of the power play. Now the shot comes from Kruger, it's in.
What a beautiful play there as Mad Max goes hard to the net to open the scoring for the Northmen. Yeah, his to lose, you said earlier, Matt, Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't get it, it'll probably be a shame for Redlick as he gets the goal, and that will get him his 16th of the playoffs. 1-0 Northern. They were pressing it most of the possession so far, and finally they strike to take a 1-0 lead, a little under 5 minutes gone in the first.
That's been typical of the Hornheads for the last few years, especially in this building, especially in the playoffs. You know, not much doing. You kind of lull the crowd to sleep, and then all of a sudden you look up, there's 2 or 3 goals on the board, just 1 for now. So Whitby would do well to score the next one. Soroketti, Littlejohn cutting backdoor. That one off the stick of Byrne. And Max Weatherup will come back to pick it up.
Yeah,
Thought he was snubbed in the Rookie of the Year category, but I didn't get a vote.
Yeah, I think there might have been maybe a snub or 2 on Northman for the MVP as well. But that's the way it goes. There's so many great players in this league, Matt. There's always going to be, there's always going to be a conversation of who's not there and who's in it.
Yeah, Liam Matthews sort of seems like every year he should be on that list and isn't on that list. Another one again this year, but how do you knock Willem Firth, Littlejohn, all in that conversation?
Yeah, and Tavares from Mimico is the 3rd nominee.
Forgot there for a second on the crease and in it perhaps from Aiden Matthews there on the rebound from the outside shot.
Yeah, it was Liam and Trey Deere getting the assist on the goal by Max Kruger to make it 1-0. And yeah, this Northern team have so many weapons that can come at you from any end of the floor, any side, so Warriors have to be careful.
Only 6 minutes into this game, already the horns up, horns down debate is going on in the chat. If you're watching live, you can join in. We've got horns up from the UK, though, so pretty good representation.
Yep. They have one of the strongest followings in lacrosse for sure, the Orangeville Northmen. But the Warriors have a good following as well. Good chance there for Aiden Matthews, but a big save by Redlick to keep it 1-0.
Transition back the other way. Shot there, Constantopoulos. We'll send it outside as Luke Robinson rushed in. Deere has it yet again. He'll flip it back to Matthews. Far side, Sanderson. That's Dylan around the screen from his older brother, Kim. Goal waved off, Ron in the crease.
Yep. Owen Ron, that big power forward there going hard, but just a little too aggressive and a little too close to the net.
Nolan Byrne now, the hidden ball play, dropped it. Trying to give to Little John. He played in the corner. Matthew Ford for Little John. Initial shot blocked. Weatherup has to go chase it down in the corner. Now, shot clock reset inadvertently. Weatherup has to hurry the shot, which goes up and out of play.
Despite not having many offensive chances yet, Matt, the Warriors, you got to give them credit to keep this a game. It's only the one goal he let up so far. A pretty good defensive effort as Northmen are carrying the possession right now. Let's see what happens here.
8 minutes gone here in the period. Matthews back up to Kruger. Had 5 goals in, I believe it was game number 4 of that series in Peterborough. And I mean, he's going to be a superstar for years to come here in this part of town. Ty Jesso. Big high step outside for Soroketti. Low shot forward after shedding his defender. Shot clock resets. Jack Oldman in to get it. Bouncing ball here, not far enough for Aaron Taguri. Trade deadline acquisition from Mimico for the Orangeville Northmen and Transition Player of the Year nominee.
He's still rocking the baby blue shoes from the Mountaineers.
We did the game here just after the trade deadline. Thought those may have been swapped out by now, but I mean, roster hadn't changed from the one from before the trade deadline at the door, but I digress. Soroketti up out of play, extended possession here for Whitby yet again.
Yeah, you're saying about Matt Ford, he's been a great pickup for the Warriors. He played most of the season with the Halton Hills Bulldogs in the Junior B League. Had 106 points total in 22 games this year. So another offensive cog for the Warriors to go with Little John.
Somewhat surprising, not very often you see a team going for it, looking for a Junior B rookie. And it's Belair cutting to the far side of the floor to put this one in.
Making amends for getting that penalty earlier as Julian Belair gets another big goal as the Warriors tie it up, nearing the halfway point of the first period. And here it is on the replay. You can see takes the feed. And then from a bit of an odd angle, gets it by up and over the shoulder of Evan Constantopoulos. So Belair will take it. And that's his 13th goal of the playoffs. Lucky number 13 for Julian Belair. And it's all tied at 1 as the Warriors fighting hard despite maybe their fatigue factor in their 3rd game in 3 days.
And as you said, they do seem to come in bunches for Julian Belair. So we'll see if that ignites something and starts a big game for him.
Now Belair is actually a former draft pick. He was picked 6th overall by the Northmen back in 2022. So maybe he's got some revenge against him in this series.
Out of the corner. That was Weatherup trying to put it up top into the stick of Owen Lee. He'll let it roll. After the over and back or shot clock violation, take your pick. 1-1 tie here with just about 20 seconds away from the halfway mark. Walking through here, Ron hits it off the crossbar. Racing out is Robinson, facing 2 Northmen defenders, however, going to slow things down and wait for Little John and company to get out.
Yeah, Little John had the lone assist on the goal by Belair.
Get ready to say that a lot. 6 points in game number 6 for Littlejohn. He's up there in the top 5 in terms of playoff points. Yep. Willem Firth actually leading the pack despite now being eliminated and only playing 3 games of the first round.
Well, actually, Liam Matthews has gone ahead of him right now. He has 54. Firth and Littlejohn each have 53 with the assist tonight for Littlejohn. So it's that tight right now in the race, but Littlejohn and Matthews will be going neck and neck for the playoff scoring lead here in this series.
Going to be fun to watch these two go at it, as it was with Littlejohn and Willem Firth going head-to-head in the last round. Be remiss if we didn't shout out guys like Daniel Clark, Nicholas Rude as well, who saw their careers end at the hands of the Northmen.
Yeah, Rude had a good series for Peterborough. He had a good playoff for sure. Did all he could to get him in, and there's a player down for they could see a power on the floor there for, and he just got hit by his own player.
Wow.
And they score. That was a weird sequence there, Matt.
It really was. Starts with a player getting taken down up top. And we just missed the end of it there. Orangeville thought that Oldman did it illegally, then went after Oldman, who sends the pass to the crease. Delayed penalty coming on the revenge. And then you can see it in the back of the net. Whitby Warriors lead here in the early stages of this one.
I believe it was Ty Jesser that may have got that goal. I believe it was him that got that. And what happened, he was being defended, but then Coffey inadvertently hit Siapara, knocked him down again, took both players out. And an easy goal there for the Warriors. Jesso, another former Halton Hills Bulldog player. I'm giving all the shout-outs today because I live in Georgetown, so I'm used to seeing some of these players covering their games over the years.
A lot of Halton Hills players end up finding their way into Junior A.
Another one is Messier playing for Orangeville.
Yeah. Think of them, think of Alora, think of Nepean as the big feeder systems from those that don't really have Junior A in their backyard. Matthews will feed it back through Ron. I thought he had it in his stick. A couple nifty moves, but it was intercepted by Owen Tapper, who's out with Ethan Lee on the 2-on-1. Shrug of the shoulder there by Konstantopoulos.
That would have been a highlight reel goal with that beautiful feed by Tapper, but a better save by Konstantopoulos. There's a nice save there by Redlick as well off that hot shot.
Already, by my count, 3 times in this opening period. Odd man rushes, or at least transition out for the Warriors. Another one off the crossbar here. This won't be over and back on the rebound.
Yeah, it was Kruger again looking for a second of the night. Oldman and Weatherup getting the assist on the goal by Ty Jesso at 8:45, so 2-1 Whitby lead.
Deere had it go in and out of his stick. Back across to Matthews. Dylan Sanderson to the outside. Kruger finds Deere coming back to the ball, and the shot off Redlick, then the glass bounces right back to Luke Robinson. Obligatory Cornell Big Red shout out here on the broadcast for Robinson and Trayson Stewart, his teammate. Littlejohn far side burn. Back for Littlejohn again. Standing in front of him was Alex Messier. He may have forced that one to go in the corner. Picked up and on the run. No room for a shot here from Lee, who stayed up.
Yeah, smothering D there, sorry, Matt, by Siapara and Jennings in on Bel Air. He had nowhere to go except for just freeze against the boards and let the shot clock run out. So good job there by the Northmen defensively.
Cam Sanderson in thoughts of going to the crease finds Ron on the run again. Ron's going to get one here before too long. That's already 3 times by my count. That's had a really good look at the net.
Yeah, just got to keep those tippy toes out of the crease.
Oldman for Weatherup down in the corner. Bit of a slip and slide just outside of the fan. Oh! And now posturing up, and Seguri who takes him hard into the end boards.
Seguri really giving the business there, Matt, as they go off to the bench.
Trey Deere From the outside, stops up. Aaron Taguri, really a mirror image of his older brother Josh. Behind the back, Matthews to Deer, a bounce shot into the corner. Kruger there to pick up. Only 3 seconds for Matthews to shoot from outside. And that one well high. Another shot clock violation here against the Northmen.
This kind of reminds me of I covered game 1 of the first round against Kitchener-Waterloo for Orangeville. Same thing. It was a back and forth tight game where, give credit to Kitchener-Waterloo. They gave Orangeville a fight. Northmen pulled it out by a goal, but looks like it's going to be a type of game here, Matt, a tight one.
Counter that with game number 1, Whitby and Beaches. Gesso shoots from the outside. Even the Toronto Beaches staff and organization admitted they probably misunderestimated the Warriors a little bit playing back-to-back days. Sorchetti's shot from the outside bounces off the boards. Belair will rip, trying to beat the shot clock and just can't do it. Ended up 10-3 in favor of the Warriors in game number 1.
I said sometimes you think your team's going to be fatigued, but maybe they're playing a little bit of possum. I mean, maybe they just want to keep going. You're fresh, keep the momentum going, don't have a day off. And Warriors are really hanging tight with Northmen right now, got the lead.
Under 5 to go in the first period, scheduled for 3:20s on the crease. Aiden Matthews called in the crease, second one of the period taken away from the Northmen.
Yeah, he got his toe in there again. It's tough break. It's about 2 or 3 times that Northmen have had almost a sure goal, but they've stepped in the crease and it's a crease violation, so they can just keep those toes out. We're going to probably get some goals for the home side.
Rusty Kruger, DJ Cleveley, not fans of Kyle Coulter at the moment. Here's Sorchetti over the top. Back to Little John. Low shot, may have had the 5-hole. Stick him over just in time. And Taguri again, hard after Little John. Sean Costigan. Trailer off the bench is Ron. Back to Cam Sanderson. Deer. He'll go over the top, bouncing it in the direction of Kruger. And that'll be caught over on the Whitby bench. You can see how many golf shirts are over there on the bench.
Yeah.
5 of them. Just if you need an indication of how banged up this team is coming through into this final series.
And I believe they're 1 player short, actually, roster-wise. They only have 17 roster players dressed in the 2 goaltenders. So with all the fatigue and injuries here with 3 games in 3 days, they'll have a 2-day break in between games. That will help. Another delayed penalty coming up. I think it's going to be a power play for the Northmen. Holding will be the call. So that might make Rusty Kruger a little happier now. So go back to the power play and try to tie this one up. See the crew chief there, Josh Hiltz with the call. See if you can get a replay of it on your screen.
This will be the crease goal, I believe, or the no goal in the crease.
Ooh, very, very close, but I think he have to go back on that one. I can see why there's a bit of an argument there, but ooh. That's tight. That's very tight.
Remember here in Junior A, though, it's the cylinder rule. Once you cross over that cylinder, that's when the crease violation is, not the NLL rule book. So, for those of you not familiar, outside, Kruger rips it off the post.
As you said earlier, Matt, there's been 4 or 5 posts so far in this game for the Northmen. So, just keep shooting if that's Orangeville style. Just keep shooting. One will eventually go in.
Already over 1,000 viewers here live. Kruger behind his back. 3 minutes left to go here in the period. Kruger fakes low, goes high, scores.
Just give the ball to the hot hand. Second goal of the night for Max Kruger. Give him 17 now in the playoffs. A power play goal. It's tied at 2. And as I said, keep shooting. Good things will happen. Vice behind the back feed to Ron, and then he gets it back, and he'll load one up and puts it over the arm of tight end Redlick, and that ties it up at 2. And Mad Max strikes again for Orangeville, just with the doctor order for the North. And they needed something to get the momentum in their favor. They get a power play, and they get a big goal from Kruger.
I'll tie things up 2-2 with just about 3 minutes left here in the period. Jack Oldman, one of the best draw takers in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, winning another one here in Orangeville, and that started to become the story in that Beaches series. When Whitby went on a couple big runs in some of their wins, it was because they kept getting the ball back in their stick. Here's Byrne from the outside. Gets a shove. Back to Little John. Swim move. 5 on the clock. Jake Spallina in his face to Belair. No time to shovel it on the crease since he was on the wrong side.
Yeah, that's where you're going to try to have your teammates there maybe giving a big yell to Belair saying, you got to shoot. You have like 2 on the clock. But he probably didn't know how much time he had, so it was a shot clock violation against the Warriors.
Shot here. Recovered by Eden Matthews. Second opportunity for the Northmen. Outside Cam Sanderson. Ron coming over to set a screen. He'll take the return pass. Cuts in shot. Just off the post. Sanderson knocked down in front of the Whitby bench.
No call.
A lot of eyes on him in that Peterborough series. Over the top, Matthews shot. Trey Deer got taken down right in front of the crease and is down on all fours as Robinson comes in transition for the second time in the period.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. I don't know if he got a stick in the midsection or something, or if he just took a awkward turn. But yeah, he went down. Little Ginger getting up. He's going to the bench now. Hopefully he'll shake it off and be back on the next possession.
Kruger stumbled in front of Ben Cromer. Not as hot here in the Bunny Barn as it normally is, but just a 24 degrees Celsius day. Actually pretty nice.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Here in Ontario. When we come back a couple days, I imagine not going to be as lovely. Oldman pinballing off Northman defenders in front of the crease into the last minute of play here in the first. Picked up by Costigan. He'll put the brakes on in front of Owen Lee. Owen Lee, number 9. Ethan Lee, number 18. On this Whitby roster. Matthews with 10 to shoot. Gets it up into the stick of Kruger, already on hat-trick watch. He'll be chased down towards the corner. Shakes off his man, bounces it off Redlick, who will keep it in his crease and now pick up after the 30-second mark. And timeout called by the Whitby coaching staff. Phil Sanderson wants more time added to the clock, as does Rusty Kruger.
Yeah, he looks a little angry there over in the Orangeville bench. Take a look now at the Whitby bench. Led by their coach, Kevin Jenkins. And yeah, you got to give Whitby credit. They're just fighting hard, as we've been doing all playoff long. Never surrender is the strategy. And as the coach staff told us, survival is their key tonight. They got so many banged up players. They're running on fumes, 3rd game in 3 days, but they had the momentum. You know, they got something going here. They've played the maximum game so far, Matt. 12 games in the first two rounds. As you look at the Northmen, haven't had to play as much. They've only played 9 games. They had the first round sweep against Kitchener-Waterloo. Scare in the first game, but then they dominated the last 2. But then Peterborough game a bit of a fight. They still took that series in 6, but Whitby's giving everything they handle right now, and they're going to have their big guns out there. You see Ford, Belair, Little John, Byrne. They're going to be on the floor with the net empty for this last possession of the first period to try to take the lead to the locker room.
We remind you to download the official Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app for the schedule. We'll go through it for you once the horn sounds here in the first period. Just 1 game up at the moment as Belair will jog it across center. If you subscribe here, this is where all the action will be throughout the playoffs. Belair again for this final set. Goaltender is out, weather up in front of him. Little John already being worked over. Sorketti behind the net. That's where the ball goes now. Weather up over the top, shoots over top of a ducking teammate. And tie up here, and Taguri in the face of Little John. Looks like everyone's going to go their separate ways. Messier, as you would expect, coming over to have a word in that conversation as well.
Just setting the tone, Matt. It's game 1 of the finals, first period, setting the tone for the long and grueling series. It's going to be a war between these clubs. They both have the pedigree of a champion. It's going to be a big fight, and it's already tied at 2 after 1.
Game 1 of a potential 7. Game 2 will be Monday back at Whitby. That's August the 4th. Orangeville, Whitby, 8 o'clock start time. During the OLA festival, might I add. So, I mean, get there early and take the GO train to work if you want a parking spot. I think it's the best way to do that. And Whitby at Orangeville will be back here on Wednesday. That's August the 6th Friday, August 9th in Whitby. Festival game again, August 9th, the only days that the series will go back-to-back. Whitby at Orangeville on Saturday, and then the 11th and 12th, if we need game 6 and 7, is where those two will take place. That is the schedule for this Ontario Junior Lacrosse League final. A reminder that if you download the official Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app, the entire thing will be there shortly. If you subscribe here to the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel, this is where all the action will be throughout the playoffs, including the second period, which comes up in about 9 minutes. 2-2 tie here between the Whitby Warriors and Orangeville Northmen in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League final. This is game number 1. We'll be back to Tony Rose shortly.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Let's go, raise up one time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
You can catch the fun with lacrosse, Canada's national summer sport. Everyone can experience the excitement of lacrosse, where fun meets fitness and friends are made. Lacrosse is one of the youngest organized sports children can play. And with 66 clubs throughout Ontario, everyone can get in on the fun. Visit playlacrosse.com. Our interactive map will help you find a lacrosse club in your area. Join the Ontario lacrosse community today. Ask a parent before going online.
Back live here in Orangeville, Ontario. Matthew Carrick alongside Alan Corkum and the JVI Sports Network presenting the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Finals. You see Whitby taking back to the floor. It was actually Max Kruger bookending the period. 5 minutes in, scored from Liam Matthews and Trey Deer. Then goals from Julian Belair and Todd Gesso midway through the period. And then final 3 minutes, Max Kruger does it again, this time from Owen Ron, and Liam Matthews, a 1-for-1 power play, I believe. Power play just ending, so not an official power play goal for Kruger, but 2-2 your score after the first period here in game number 1 of the series, and pretty good one, especially for Whitby team that played the last 2 nights.
Yeah, they're not showing any fatigue at the moment. I mean, maybe as the game goes on, but they just got to keep fighting hard, and that's what it is, a mode of survival. Their coaching staff told us before the game. As you see them over there talking with the officials went and had a little huddle with each coach before the period started, and we're getting underway here from the Tony Roos. Period 2 should be a great one. We're all tied up.
If you're not familiar with Orangeville Northmen lacrosse in this building, this is the traditional period that is very dangerous for visitors. I think close proximity of the front bench to the opposing net, so keep your eye on the transition of the Northmen here in this middle stanza. Jab step from Nolan Byrne gets blown up and hit hard into the end boards. Big hit there from Carter Coffey.
Well, thankfully, it looks like Burns no worse where he ran off to the bench under his own power pretty quickly, so let's hope that's a good sign for him, because I know he's been battling some nagging injuries so far here in the playoffs.
You can still see that big roll of tape peeking out of the shorts on the leg that we noticed back in the St. Catharines series. Did not play at all in the 7 games against the Beaches. Here's Kruger looking for the top corner over top of the net. That one will bounce into his bench. Andrew Suter still has good hands, although those hands were not often used for good when he played junior. One of the fiercest takers as Sorketti gets upended. Elijah Edwards, the benefactor, but how about the back check? Done there, I believe that was Luke Robinson.
Beautiful. I mean, he had all day and time to go, but great back check to keep it tied.
Owen Tolville leaves it here for Deer. Josh Hiltz counting down the shot clock. It's at 10 seconds now, despite what you may see up in the corner. William Matthews, Deer calling for it, and off to his left was Redlick for his best stop of the night.
Yeah, Deer is deadly, but Redlick even better to the challenge there with a great save.
Tryson Stewart to Gesso. Belair was on his way back to the crease. Stewart will pick this up off the end boards. Under 10 left for Whitby to shoot. Stewart chased a long way from home. Little John from distance caught by Konstantopoulos.
Yeah, he had to be careful there. It was falling in the pads, but he kept it out, and it's Northman ball.
Little John and Coffey chopping on their way off the floor. It was a heated series between Peterborough and Orangeville on more than one occasion. Outside shot now, Aiden Matthews. Redlick didn't even move.
He never saw a thing, but luckily it missed the net.
Outlet pass launched all the way down and away from the target.
Wonder how Little John likes his coffee.
Matthews to Deer. To Aiden Matthews again near the crease, and again the defense all over it. Here's Justin Hewitt. Big stutter step, shoots around a screen from Edwards. Bouncer off the end boards. This time will drop in the stick of Levi Tui. Low shot, Redlick looking for it, and it's not over the line.
Redlick doing everything there. Almost did a snow angel to make sure that ball didn't go across the line, and it didn't, thankfully for him and the Warriors. Got a good chance for Tui on the break.
Levi Tui initially, trade was announced that he was going to be joining Josh Mills on the Beaches squad, but as the deadline unfolded, ends up on the bench of the Orangeville Northmen from the Poco Saints. Owen Toval. High-stepping Kruger has all the goals for Orangeville tonight so far. Matthews may be able to change that. Only 10 left to shoot. He'll work around the screen from Kruger. Owen Ron plays the rebound. Quick stick again, Deer.
Another post.
Oh. That's twice they've got away with that play, though. And Whitby would do well to watch the backside of the crease.
Yeah, they're getting burned a lot, but luckily it's only hitting iron, not the back of the net. But yeah, too many times and it will start to bite them.
Byrne with Little John. Byrne ran through the crease, couldn't play it, as they were trying a little give and go action cross floor. Cohen Jennings leaves it here to the outside for Carter Coffey. Kruger over to Matthews. Aiden Matthews joining the play. Deer will set the screen. Liam Matthews to his younger brother cutting in, and Redlick sits back and lets that fall into his gear.
And Redlick is looking solid so far here in this one tonight.
Played tremendous the further along the St. Catharines series went, and toe-to-toe with Thomas Kazik against the Beaches. Matthew Ford cutting through some 13-on-13 action.
Seen that rush many times up at the old Gordon Alcott in Georgetown when he played for the Bulldogs, going hard to the net like that. Sometimes he scores, sometimes he doesn't, like he didn't on that chance.
Again, it looked weird on paper that Whitby was acquiring a young junior B player, and turned out they need him here on the left side in the playoffs with all the injuries, as Matthews works into the crease. Worked out for Peterborough as well, getting some veteran defense. It saw them reach the Final Four for the first time in a number of years.
Holding the stick call coming up. I believe is going against Whitby. Looks like it's going to be Max Weatherup going off. So another power play coming up for the Northmen. They got a power play goal late in the first to tie it. Let's see if they can get one here early in the second to take the lead back. So I'm not sure if the Northmen even had a penalty tonight. I don't think they had a minor penalty, to my recollection. I think it's only been the 3 against the
Alex
Warriors.
Messier was going to be called for the cross check at the end of the goal, which washed it out. But
yep. So just the one delayed call was going to happen against the Northmen, but 3 penalties now. Warriors Northern 1 for 2 in the power play.
Kruger and Matthews down to the corner. Deer still keeping it to the left side. Matthews behind his back down to Deer. Bouncer off the foot of Redlick. Ron had to wait for it to come down. Got hit. Big swim move. Owen Tapper. He'll jog it across the center line. 6 minutes gone here in the period. Still tied 2-2. That's where we were when they went to the locker rooms. Little John and Bel Air going to slow things down. Ford coming out now on the one-man switch. Nolan Byrne, the only one who hasn't touched it. He'll cut to the crease. 5 left to shoot. Bel Air trying to screen Little John, and didn't work. Nice recovery, Cohen Jennings.
Carter Coffey's out there like on everything. He's been real nasty here. A bit of a snarl tonight on everybody, just hitting and whacking them hard, all the Warrior players. Really trying to send a message early on in the series.
That's probably a good thing without veteran presence, a guy who does the same in Donnie Scott. Another cross crease pass and another stop from Redlick, this time against Cam Sanderson. My goodness.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe, and it didn't work. Yeah, Redlick has been on fire.
Ethan Lee down floor, just missed. And here's Dylan Sanderson. To Matthews, fakes the flip to Kruger. Behind his back, Deer on the crease. Matthews has it again, as does Kruger. Scored twice on an outside shot in the first period, not so here at the end of the power play.
Yeah, I was going to say shots right now favoring the Northmen. I thought it was more of an advantage, but they're only up 23-18 right now. It looks like the Northmen have had more shots than the Warriors. It seems like they've had, but only a 5-shot lead at the moment.
They'll be 1 for 2 on the power play as this shot goes off the foot of Constantopoulos and up out of play. Actually thought we'd see both Constantopoulos brothers in Oakville this year with the Buzz, but Evan traded here to Orangeville in the offseason to become their number 1. Allowing Zach to get the net in Oakville. Pretty good first season of Junior A ball for another former Halton Hills Bulldog. Here's Tryson Stewart. Twist shot down towards the feet of Constantopoulos, up out of play.
Yeah, they haven't had much success playoff-wise. They won the 2010 Founders Cup to the Bulldogs. They haven't been able to find their footing the last few years, but they still pipe out a lot of good prospects.
Elijah Edwards chased outside. Trey Deer across to Owen Ryan. Ron spins back away from Baxter on the crease. Quick shot Cam Sanderson. Ron got taken down behind the net. Getting up with a bit of hitch in his giddy up.
Yeah, Ron limping a little bit. But you know, he's a warrior, no pun intended. He'll be back in the next shift unless he's really hurting.
Well done to you, but definitely one of those players. If they stay down, you know something's up. Little John. First shot wide. Robinson brings it back down. Outside Belair will reset the shot clock, but set was pretty much over by that point. Here's Jaden Ciapera. Back to Deer, settled it down with a couple pump fakes, and now Whitby in behind everybody. Deer trying to catch up to Tapper, who shoots wide.
Anybody went through the crease there, so it's going to be Warrior ball. You hear a lot of chirping here in the crowd here tonight. Very passionate crowd here at Tony Rose, as it is every night.
Whitby fans off to our right. Not as many of them as there are to our left, as you would expect. Now stumbling here, Soroketti. He had a rough and tumble 2 series already, but definitely going off slowly. Looked like on the follow through of the shot, may have stepped on the defender's foot and rolled possibly the ankle. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, this Warriors team's looking like a mass unit right now, Matt. You see about 5 or 6 players over there in their golf shirts, and I said lots of people with bandages on their legs and then going down easy, so let's hope they can survive this series.
Little John elects not to shoot. Ball will bounce to Robinson, who does, off the pads of Constantopoulos. And even Lucas Littlejohn, that hard hit that he took in game 4, ended up staying down in the crease after his helmet came off. Had to go off, went through the protocol and testing down in the tunnel before returning to that game and the series. Outside Dylan Sanderson. Aiden Matthews got knocked down, goes back to set a screen for his brother. Liam shoots. Redlick the save. Liam gets his own rebound.
And more importantly, a fresh 30 on the shot clock.
Indeed, Cam Sanderson to his brother Dylan. So right now 2 Matthews and 2 Sandersons. 1 Kruger out there, the son of the head coach, as the quick stick finally works. Kruger to Liam Matthews.
And one of the brother acts works there. It's Liam Matthews getting his 3rd point of the night. He had 2 assists before. Now he gets a goal. And as he's taken over the playoff scoring lead with these 3 points here tonight. And look at that beautiful feed through a seam by Kruger and a one-timer by Liam Matthews, burying the ball in the back of the net. Matthews now with 19 on the season, and the Northmen take a lead 3-2 as the goalies go to their benches for a much-needed refreshment break. Up there at Evan Constantopoulos, as you said, Matt, the former Halton Hills Bulldog, also played briefly with the Oakville Buzz, where his brother does now, and yeah, doesn't seem he's been as busy. Maybe he's making some saves, but doesn't seem he's making the 10 bellers like that man is. Right there, Tyden Redlick. He's been making some big saves, and I think if it wasn't for these saves in the post that the Northmen have been hitting so far, this game might be a little bit more out of reach than a 1-goal lead for Orangeville. So you got to give him credit. And also his best friend, the left and right post.
Yes.
And the crossbar maybe too.
To be fair, and I think it must be said, Tyden Redlick has let in some of those questionable ones. You know, Ty Stainhouse from near center.
It's going to happen. Once in a while, you're going to let
There were a few from the outside, but coaching staff were singing his praises heading into Game 6 a few nights ago when we were in Whitby. Said they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Exactly. That's what you need. Yes, you're going to have your moments maybe of a stinker of a goal, but if you come up clutch in the big moments like in these games they have won, that's all you need, and he has so far for Whitby in this playoff run.
Graydon Stokes over center. First time calling his name tonight. The big early in-your-face defender. As now Deere goes back to Matthews, loading up that big shot. And another one from Redlick, who came over at the trade deadline from Alberta. Alberta-born netminder, the San Diego Seals draft pick. As Matthews going to test him again on the run. That one wide as it skips back over the restraining line. Trey Deere got there first. Kruger with it, back for Matthews. Cross to Dylan Sanderson. Fake low, went over top of the defender. And when you hear the name Tyden Redlick, especially at the trade deadline, everyone thinks of the fight video that went viral of him fighting a player, a runner. Definitely getting a lot more respect for his play in the crease for what he's been able to do here in Ontario. Soroketti over to Littlejohn. Slowed up on that outside shot. Allowing Constantopoulos to make the save. Rebound rolls just far enough for Tui and Orangeville to take it down. He was looking to the front door for Aiden Matthews. Pass just a little bit behind him. And Cam Sanderson stood in, truck stick from Jack Oldman.
And he's from the Ohio State University.
Stewart and Littlejohn playing catch across the floor. Littlejohn trying to come back in the direction of Robinson. Couldn't make it, and we got a scrum here for the loose ball. 3 Northmen in there facing 2 Warriors. And just at the shot clock, looked like Littlejohn might have pulled it free, but no time to beat the 30-second count.
Right now they have the goal as unassisted for Liam Matthews, but they clearly have to give an assist to Kruger. Because he had that beautiful pass through the seam to him. Video doesn't lie, Matt.
Graydon Stokes, ball taken away from him because the chin strap was undone, and then he turned back to get back in the play. Effectively a 5-on-4 right now for Whitby with Robinson trying to find the cutting Littlejohn back door, hit the backside of Elijah Edwards. Break there for Orangeville, who were missing a defender. Tied Jesso to Littlejohn. Byrne pops out of the pile, off his stick, races on for it. Max Kruger trying to get in front of the offensive superstar, over and back. Byrne will head off, Ben Cromer back in. Robinson on D. Quick stick, scores!
Well, haven't heard those 2 players tonight, Matthews and Kruger, have you? Connecting again. They've been in all goals, and this time it's the hat trick goal. Let's have a look at it again on the screen. We'll get a replay here in a moment, but yeah. Matthews to Kruger. Gets it off the stick quickly into the back of the net as it's the hat trick for Mad Max Kruger, the super rookie. And it's a 2-goal lead now for the Northmen. 4-2, 6:33 to go here in the second. Matthews, a goal and 3 assists on the night. 3 goals and 1 assist for Kruger.
And this is what I was talking about before. You know, the Orangeville will lull you to sleep, and then they'll put, before you know it, a 3-goal run together that puts them up big. Not so big right now with just 2. Tapper trying to walk along the boards. We're going to get a penalty coming up here to Orangeville. Could be the first one of the night.
Yep, unless the Warriors can score here in the delayed call with an extra attacker.
Tollville for either cross-checking or high stick, we'll see. 10 seconds left to shoot for Littlejohn. Spallina chasing him back in front of the Whitby bench. Shot there, Littlejohn. He'll let the rebound roll to Weatherup, who gets hit into the boards, far side. Spallina going back to work over Tapper, who wants a change. Byrne with the ball now. Soroketti. Return pass from Littlejohn down in the corner. Byrne. Belair setting the screen. Soroketti off the crossbar and in. What a shot!
Yes, well, there you go. Second time tonight that the Warriors didn't need to go in the power play. They get it on a delayed call. It's Gabriel Soroketti getting it. He gets up at the high slot, and he bounces one through the 5-hole of Constantopoulos. Bit of a lucky break for Gabe, but he'll take it. It's a 1-goal game again. Soroketti now with 16 goals in the playoffs.
Been real good. You think of the superstars. You think of what Littlejohn and Byrne did this year. You think of how Langeal returned into the playoffs and was such a beast through that period. You almost forget that Soroketti's part of the equation. Came in late this season, one of those holdovers from the Minto Cup team, and should be hard to forget with the points he's been putting up in the playoffs, but Gabriel Soroketti getting the goal here. Officials are going to talk this one over as official on the near side, Sean Grenier, immediately signaled Orangeville. Josh Hiltz calls him off and signals it back the way of Whitby, as that was right in front of their bench. Their coaching staff were apoplectic. It should be their team getting possession.
Byrne and Littlejohn getting the assist on that goal. Matt Ford came close there to tying it up for Whitby.
First point for Byrne since that opening series. He was the overtime hero in game number 4. Took him that long to score his first one in the playoffs. Outside, weather up. Flips it back to the corner. Behind the back from Littlejohn. Couldn't get it all the way through to the cutting Matthew Ford. Justin Hewitt will be down floor here, weather up. Belmonte, Byrne, and Lee. Liam Matthews into the stick of Trey Deer. Matthews stumbles. Deer has to take it himself. 10 seconds left to shoot. Dylan Sanderson plays it back towards the corner for Cam. Over the top, Matthews. That one hits a body and goes up out of play. On the deflection, they give it to Whitby.
It's going to be Northman ball. Warriors bench not happy about that now being called.
Here's Dylan Sanderson from the outside. Cam will set the screen. Dylan slips. There might be a slick spot down there. The second player we've seen lose his footing. Now Cam through the middle to Ron. Nifty little play. Looked like it surprised Redlick a little bit.
Yeah, we say about the Heat in here, Matt. Was at the game 1 against Kitchener-Waterloo, and how many times they had the young girls come on the floor wiping it.
Yes.
It must have been about 20 or 30. They haven't been on tonight, knock on wood, but they might have to the way people are slipping right now, especially down in the Whitby crease area.
I'm just saying, if you own a cleaning company, great opportunity for sponsorship here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Finals. As we are still looking for sponsors to help support these, OntarioJuniorLacrosse.com, hit the contact page if you're in such a position. Here's Soroketti to the outside, down to the crease. Trayson Stewart all the way back up top, a little high for Littlejohn, who's that shot then. They're going to say hit the net, give the reset to Redlick, who comes out. Going to come all the way near the restraining line. Look out, intercepted. Redlick getting back in and makes the stop.
Oh my goodness.
Redlick out there looking for the loose ball as well.
Wow. What a gamble there, but it paid off. High risk, high reward. And he almost had, I think that, he said about him fighting, he said about that fighting video, almost like he was getting a fight there on the boards. Wow.
We've also learned it can be an adventure with Tyden Redlick. Here's Soroketti. Trying to push it back across the crease. That hit something, didn't find the mark. 2.5 to go here in the period. Shot clock reset inadvertently. We'll do for real now with Max Kruger running away. 4-3 lead here for Orangeville. By way of a pair of goals here in the period. We were 2-2 after one. No look feed to Cutting Deer into the midsection of Redlick. He'll collapse over the top of it.
And he went hard to the net, but Redlick again shuts the door.
Cromer leaving for Tapper. Ty Gesso, Little John, bit of a head move directing traffic. He'll give it to Byrne, cross floor. Those two continue. Little John back to his favorite target. Stewart hit into the end boards, takes two defenders with him, but at the tail end of the shot clock, Messier had a little chop there, and now the sticks come up between Coffey and not sure who that is.
It's Byrne, I believe.
Yeah, Nolan Byrne.
Coffey's been feisty all night, getting in the faces of all the Whitby players, and not sure if he's going off to the, I think he is going to get a penalty out of this. Might be offsetting. Yeah, it was like offsetting. It was like Byrne and Coffey are going off for offsetting minors. Goalies will go to their respective benches for a drink as well. There's going to be 5-on-5, says the crew chief Hiltz.
Minute and a half left to go. We remind you to subscribe here to the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel. This is where all the action is going to be throughout the final series here. Couple games already scheduled. We'll be in Whitby on Monday along with about 800 minor lacrosse players. It is festival, which started today. Today's the 1st? I think it's August.
Yep, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. July went so quick you wouldn't know, but yeah, it is August 1st. I believe it did start today at the Iroquois Park Arena. And yeah, like I said, get there early if you want to get a good parking spot.
Until the 10th, one of the best events of the summer. And there's going to be a couple of those Whitby games in there as well. Brooklyn Lacrosse Club in the MSL semifinals. Good times to be had out in Whitby. No hotel rooms to be had, but good times to be had.
At least close to the GO station.
There you go. Liam Matthews to Trey Deer.
They should be a sponsor of the OJLL. Go Transit, because you got to get to the game, especially in Whitby.
Closing in on the last minute here of the second period. Soroketti from the outside scored the most recent Whitby goal, the only one of the period so far. We are in the final minute now. Little John finding Belair off the bench to Ford. He'll put it in the corner. Soroketti again. Now with 5 to shoot, quick stick on the run was Little John. Belair with the reset. Soroketti. They want to slow things up, knowing that Orangeville is going to get the ball back here. Whitby took the only time out of that first period. Soroketti back across. Little John, still no shot. Halfway through the clock. Belair coming up to set the screen on Ciapera. Little John with it outside. Soroketti, he's outside of the pile, wants the pass across. Soroketti with it, only a handful to shoot. Robinson was cutting through that, hit him in the leg. 7.9 to go. Orangeville coaching staff asking what they want to do. Constantopoulos on the run, and he gets halfway, and they will indeed call timeout with like Owen Lee and Trey Deer in conversation.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Northmen wanted to use that timeout there, but they got their signals crossed a little bit as to what they were doing. As Constantopoulos coming up a little slow, and look over there at the Northmen bench, getting some instructions, see if they can get a quick one within 8 seconds to take a 2-goal lead into the locker room. At least they will take at least a 1-goal lead into the locker room. That's important, but still Whitby's fighting hard, but their best player, you have to say tonight's been tied in Redlick again. Some huge saves. Got it lucky with a few posts as well, but it's a 1-goal game here, and they're fighting hard despite their 3rd game in 3 days. They'll finally get a 2-day break, try to recover a little bit. So they're a little bit banged up, as you were saying, Matt. They look over at the Warriors bench, making sure they don't want to have any cracks in that defense here in the last 7.9 seconds to make sure they keep it only a 1-goal deficit going into the locker room after 40 minutes of play, and a big 3rd period coming up. See if they can steal home court advantage from the Northmen.
So Constantopoulos on the bench for this final set. Kruger up top, shoots over the top, gets his own rebound behind the back, nowhere near the target as I was headed for the corner. And that'll do it for the period, a 2-1 period in favor of Orangeville, who will lead 4-3 here after 2 periods in game number 1 of this Ontario Junior Lacrosse League final series. We're going to take another timeout, about 10 minutes before we're back here in Orangeville with the start of the third period. 4-2, as we said, Orangeville leading Whitby. After 2, you're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League final series from Orangeville.
No helmets, no masks, inferior equipment, wooden stick, no room for a coward.
When Zosky and Wayne Goss, they used to go out when we had to kill a penalty, and they rag the ball for 2 minutes. No, you couldn't get the ball off them. And then after 2 minutes, they go down and score.
And kids would walk around with a lacrosse stick then, the way they walk around with a cell phone today.
So we had 2 of the best, probably the best, Wayne, the best centermen in Canada on our team.
So we won in 85, we won in 86, and in 87 we could have won again. Like nobody was going to come close to us in the Senior B.
The thing with Vancouver was in those days they were the roughest, meanest, nastiest team around. And they would do things that, you know, they'd be thrown in jail for if they did them today.
And I agreed because I figured it wouldn't take too much time. Of course, coaching doesn't take a lot of time, right?
We had no superstars in our days. There was superstars in the league like Jack Bionda and Bobby Allen, and you can name a lot of the Easterner players. But in the West, there were really no spectacular players like that. They were basically just hard, sound, basic lacrosse players.
I played goalie, so they call me Seymour Shots. I didn't duck. I never ducked. I got it, bang, you know. So it's just like getting punched in the jaw.
When the Salmon Bellies went into somewhere, people just, you know, the hate was palpable, and it fueled the game.
We had about 12 legitimate Junior A players in Manitoba, our whole league, because we had a Manitoba Junior Senior League at the time. So we had to pick up 3 or 4 juveniles to play.
Bobby Allen was the best all-around player I've ever seen. He was just a total lacrosse player.
The idea of getting to go to Victoria, they had Jim Veltman, they had John Tavares, Caleb Toth, like it was a pretty stacked team. And I thought, well, I got a chance maybe of winning a Mann Cup here. So I jumped at that chance.
And not only did they not expect us to actually start the brawl, we finished it. And it just changed the whole complexion of the game.
When Gaylord came one Saturday, it was like a celebrity was in town. Every kid was there getting their shirts signed, their sticks signed, and balls signed, and he was showing them little tricks. And
they suspended us all for 5 years, the whole team, which they did it too fast. First, they should have thought a little bit longer about it.
If you could get a team that felt they were a team rather than a bunch of individuals, then they knew how to win.
We had a girls' box lacrosse team in Mimico before girls ever played box. We had a little house league team.
I was pretty fortunate to be able to win a Mann Cup, Minnow Cup, and World Championship and a Pro League Championship.
It was one year, 1949, I went to Peterborough. I played for their first Senior A team.
With guys like Doug McCrory and Cliff Sepka and Les Norman and Ken Audie. Well, they were all on that team when we went up. So it was really fun playing with guys that you watched for 10 years.
And I said, oh, I'd just like to help out. So they made me the equipment manager. Well, before the year was out, I was running the team.
One young person from Brampton his name was Donnie Arthurs, and he played the center. No one ever got the ball off him.
So I always tried cross-checking on the hips, and so guys would crumple if they got hit on the hips because their arms are up like that, and that was one thing. but that's illegal now.
Now, a lot of people would think, you know, not very classy to do it, but I went, it wasn't, but they were doing other stuff that was dirtier than what we were doing. We were just ready to take it head on and say, let's end it.
All hell broke loose for an hour and 15 minutes, and I was up in the press box up top, and within very short time there was a lot of police. There was stuff going on in the stands between Peterborough and Brooklyn. I had never seen anything like it. It was just a full out brawl.
Two people in a game that have the greatest ability to determine the outcome of the game. That's the goalie at either end.
A lot of the guys wanted to check me, so because they wanted to say, well, we stopped Parnell tonight, he's not scoring on us.
I couldn't play for me. I was a ball control freak as a coach. I hated turnovers. As a player, I was freewheeler.
Being a New West kid, obviously Wayne Goss was your favorite player.
I wanted the ball, so the best way to get it is to win the draw, you know?
It was Goss's 87th Man Cup point, which moved him ahead of Parnell.
I had Bobby Orr come out and try out for my club. And if he hadn't been so involved in hockey, I'd have got him playing lacrosse.
I saw an ad in the newspaper, new junior A team looking for lacrosse players. So I answered the ad, and that was the fateful day that I met Mr. Jim Bishop.
Getting the tar whacked out of you in a Man Cup series is not fun.
As far as I'm concerned, Ray Benning was the second Jack Bionda, skill-wise.
If I could come in a 3-on-2 and I had a guy here and a guy there, and I could fake at that guy to draw the back fin and then throw it behind my back to that guy. It was like switching hands.
Actually, playing junior and senior at the same time, just a backup in senior to the great Bill Whitaker.
Bionda, like he was a great offensive player, but he said, I tried checking once and I didn't like it, you know. So that was the way he was.
Like when I first started playing, we didn't even wear helmets. And then we got to wearing helmets and never wear masks and stuff like that. And you know, so it advanced to the point now where the entire head is covered and stuff like that. Yeah.
Smooth as butter. Anybody pick this up, throw the ball right to the target immediately. You don't have to practice with this. This is a magic stick.
That's why a lot of guys couldn't play this game very well, because they didn't look after their sticks.
To the chagrin of a lot of coaches, I learned how to do an Indian pickup really, really quickly, and I used to do that when I was running home.
And I set my goals is to change the game so it could be a fast break game, not just a brutal beat each other up game.
I'm 5 feet and I played goal. But there's no one in Brampton had more black eyes than me, because they're all trying to put the ball over my shoulder.
Personally, I think the game has progressed as far as players and on a pretty even keel, and pretty well everything that has been done for a good purpose.
A look at the Orangeville Northmen, already out of their dressing rooms, ready for the third period. They have a 4-3 lead here after 2, and playing their third game in 3 nights. I mean, they're playing Ontario Lacrosse Festival schedule right now. The Whitby Warriors backs against the wall in back-to-back games in St. Catharines, and then same story against the Toronto Beaches to get here. And already, Evan Constantopoulos down to our left wants a wipe down in his crease. And Rusty Kruger wants a chat from the officials, which gives us a chance to look around the country here in Junior A. Of course, all roads lead to St. Catharines, the Minto Cup 16th to 23rd. TheMintoCup.com is where you can get your merchandise and your single game tickets. A 1-0 lead for Victoria over Coquitlam in BC with game 2 tomorrow. And the Raiders and Mounties facing each other yet again in the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League finals. 7 teams left if you include the St. Catharines Athletics, who are in with a bye as the host team for the Minto Cup. One of these 2 teams will join them in just over 2 weeks' time. Max Weatherup starting with an outside shot wide of the mark. Tryson Stewart back down towards the corner. Shot from Ford, scores!
Nothing runs like a Ford. Yeah, as I said earlier, I've seen that shot many times up in Georgetown when he played for the Bulldogs. And Matt Ford strikes here at 106 points total this year in Junior B, and he gets a big goal here to tie it for the Warriors. Just 33 seconds into the period, comes out, gets a bit of a screen, and beats Constantopoulos clean. So a Bulldog on Bulldog, and the forward wins that battle, and it's 4-4 thanks to Matt Ford. Another assist for Littlejohn.
How about 11 players, including Matthew Ford, to Junior A this season? That played full or part-time for the Bulldogs last year. Stats department coming in. Whitby coach Kevin Jenkins as well won that Founders Cup that you talked about when he was an acquisition from the West Durham Ironheads. Shout out Pat Gregoire, who was going to try and stay awake to watch this game. He's out in Europe enjoying himself as we are here in the building. Someone give him a shove because we got a good one here at Tony Rose.
Yeah, he's gearing up for probably the Minto Cup. That'll be happening very soon. Down in St. Catharines, as you said. Should be a great tournament. Which one of these teams will be joining St. Catharines there? And another goal.
Littlejohn, just like that, brand new ball game. Ford to tie it, Littlejohn to take the lead.
The veteran strikes again. He already has one Minto Cup ring and he wants another. And Littlejohn, you see, gets the nice pick there and finds an opening underneath the arm of Constantopoulos, and 2 quick goals within a minute for the Warriors. And we get a whole new ball game now, Matt. It's a 5-4 Warriors lead as these never say die Whitby Warriors take a lead in a game they probably have no business being in, as they're so fatigued. 3 games in 3 nights, but they don't care. Don't tell that to Whitby.
Looking back for Morris. Scramble here, and Lee got knocked down off another face-off win from Oldman. Costigan rushing in by himself. It's Littlejohn's 4th point of the night. In on all but one of the goals. Redlick looking behind him, it's in!
There you go. It took a whole period to get 3 goals, Matt. Now we have 3 goals in the first 2 minutes of the third period. It's like the floodgates have opened. So look at the replay of this one. And a nice shot there. I think Redlick got a piece of it, but it rolled, and he couldn't stop it in time. And the Northmen, just like that, tie it at 5, about 30 seconds after the Warriors took the lead.
Warriors score twice in.
That's Kruger again, number 4.
Math is hard. Minute and 32 seconds, I believe, for 3 goals here to start this period. Told you someone should have woken up Patty. Matthews from the outside over top of his brother Aiden, who's fallen. So does Redlick behind him. Another one that was rolling past the netminder. Cam Sanderson, a good check to pop the ball free. That's Eddie Faraday. Pushes it here to Lee.
Yeah, he's a trade deadline acquisition from the Oakville Buzz was Faraday.
Byrne and Soroketti picking up assists on Lucas Littlejohn's goal. Aiden Matthews trade deer on the goal from Kruger. An outside rip is in.
Tries Stewart, the 6th different goal scorer for Whitby. As he gives them the lead right back, 3:05 into the third as the goal scoring parade continues here at the Tony Rose. Goalies are stopping everything in the first 40 minutes. Now it seems like they're having some trouble here in the third. You see Little John again. Gets it back to Stewart. He gets loaded and he rifles one past Kosopoulos. So another point for Lucas Littlejohn, getting a helper on that one.
And to your point, that's one that probably he would want to have and probably should have in Constantopoulos, but either way, 6-5, Whitby back on top. Weather up for another face-off win. Jack Oldman doing his thing. Here yet again, take that social media. 4th goal, by the way, of the night for Max Kruger.
Yes, Little John with a goal of 4 assists to lead Whitby. Kruger 4 goals and 1 assist for the Northmen.
And with Nolan Byrne getting assists on the first 3 goals. Watch out if number 22's back. Matthews to run, knew he was out of space. Was attempting the around the world, although got upended and landed in the crease. Boy, oh boy, what a start. 4 goals in, 2.5 minutes, give or take?
Yep.
Little John, swim move. Already up to 5 points here in the game. No one's broken free, outside shot, Ford. Delayed penalty is coming up though to Orangeville. Going to be a cross check.
Yeah, I thought Little John might get a high stick over here as well, but that one undetected, but they got the cross check, so it will be a Northman penalty. It's going to be Levi Toohey going off, and things going from bad to worse right now for Northman. Momentum shifting a little bit in the Warriors' favor.
Just the second Warriors power play. Well, pardon me, I don't think they have one.
No, both times were delayed. They got a goal.
Right, that's right.
So this will be their first official power play of the game.
First official power play. There's a lot happening up here, okay, Alan? Soroketti, Little John tried that same little deceptive shot with the change of direction at the end. Nearly fooled Constantopoulos again. Messier in transition, feeds back to Deer, the bounce shot. Off of Redlick, it'll come back to Bel Air.
I think in that aspect, Matt, if you're Deer, you look for maybe something up in the arm, like a little higher than that, over the bounce shot, because Redlick will read that all the way. You got to try maybe a little fake and then maybe wrist one into the side of the net or maybe top corner.
I think conventional wisdom would dictate that, but conventional wisdom does not apply to Trey Deer.
He's a talented player.
Based on what we've seen the past couple of years. Soroketti's bouncer there, if that's on target, would have been interesting because ball bounced high as Constantopoulos went low, but hit off the boards. 5.5 minutes into this final scheduled regulation time period. Liam Matthews, Ben Cromer, sticking with him stride for stride as we're into the back half of this Whitby Warriors power play, their first official one of the game. Tapper runs right through both Deer and Matthews, Oldman flipping to Little John. Belair in front of him, Weatherup going to quarterback the power play. A lot of trust in a young rookie here in the OJLL finals. Stewart had Weatherup cutting through. He then goes through the crease. He thought it was up out of play. That's why
it was.
Touched it, but off his own stick. Edwards, Sanderson. Back to Matthews. It's Aiden, though. Older brother Liam not out there yet. All four are for the Northmen. Dylan Sanderson, a high step from the corner. Matthews upended, looked at the official, no call. As Matthews resets the shot clock, swim move. Penalty has expired. Whitby 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Trey Deer. To Matthews, twist shot. Cam Sanderson. He'll chase down Lee. Owen Tapper and Lee both got away from Sanderson. Now Little John will slow it down. Again, Elijah Edwards upended. Back at center behind everybody.
Pitch not happy about that when they're hollering for a call.
Matthews to the outside. Kruger.
It's key now is that the mood is setting for this series. They're trying to get everybody going. It's only game one. It's only going to get hotter on the floor and in the crowd here throughout the series. As they'll have a wipe here. As you see, tonight they have some young men out here to do it. They had some young girls that game there a couple weeks ago with the Kitchener-Waterloo game, and now, so they said we got to get the maybe the ShamWow still around. You can get them maybe as a sponsor. I'm not sure if they're still that or somebody like that.
I don't think we can start talking about that, can we?
No, maybe not. But something like that, some kind of company,
Sure.
like I said, a cleaning company.
Sure. Orangeville Minor Association, they do this with a lot of their young players, can sign up and have a chance from one of the teams to come out and do that. I know Mimico kind of does the same type of thing. Starting to run out of arenas with the concrete floor. A lot of turf starting to show up, including out in Whitby. If you haven't seen a Warriors game yet, the old New York Riptide turf. The orange doesn't really match the red as well as you would expect, but Warriors have performed well on it so far. Down for the President's Cup, which will start as soon as the Minto's over, 24th through the 31st. Cam Sanderson, twist shot on the run, bounces up and out of play. And then guess what? We're done summer.
Don't say that. We don't have to go too quick. But even though we're both hockey managers too, so we love the lacrosse this summer and we love the hockey in the fall. Now it'll be right after lacrosse, so but a week after, so no stopping us, eh?
Hey man, the Bills need to get paid. That's all I know. Soroketti to Little John. Another tangle up here between Byrne and Elijah Edwards as his points total is starting to ramp up tonight. So is the attention that Byrne is getting. Soroketti, he'll pass it behind the net.
Oh.
Over the shoulder, Byrne on the run. Wow, just missed. Here's Ford, back to Little John. Soroketti through a wheeling set of lefties. Little John gonna take two defenders with him. His shot bounces back in through the fan. Picked up by Costigan. On the run, has a man down with them. Redlick looking behind him. It's caught in his feet.
Yeah,
Weatherup.
Nice round of applause from the Whitby fans for that save. And yeah, gonna watch those Orangeville transition players coming up the floor. Quick Edwards, Costigan, Messier, all had great chances in games this season.
Ty Gesso outside for Stewart. Jab step, headed to the crease. Shot bounced off the boards. He'll pick up his own rebound and almost reset the clock. Maybe a slick spot in behind the net. And it caused him to slip. Good time stick check at center. Oldman getting it away here from Cohen Jennings. Luke Robinson hard off the bench to come back and save it from his draw taker. Oldman gonna stay up on offense. Don't kid yourself, he can do damage here too. Out to Soroketti. Little John. Screen coming from Oldman to Gurry. There to whack at it and pop it free. Jennings gonna bounce it up in the direction of Toval. Sanderson taken down, was looking at the official, no call, much to the delight of the fans to our right.
Looked a bit like interference as the ball wasn't even near him, but play goes on.
Discussing it with the officials. Aiden Matthews bounces off a screen. Twist shot, looking to the 5-hole of Redlick.
It's like a pinball there, Matthews. You hit off with 3 players, still went hard to the net and got a good chance. Yeah, I was going to say 8-second violation, I believe.
Ciapera here to Matthews. Cam Sanderson has been engaged this entire time. He's been out on the floor for the last minute and a half. Nearly knocked down that pass.
Yeah, Matthews got put down hard by Ethan Lee, but they were having a battle. There's Lee got the last shot in. Matthews got the first one.
Intensity starting to ramp up here in a 1-goal game with just under 8 minutes left to play in regulation. Ford, Gesso. No room to run, pass to Gurry. He'll bounce it far side. Stewart can't pick it. Byrne brings it down, but no time to shoot before the shot clock sounds.
The goal scoring has calmed down. They had that big flurry early in the third, but now it's starting to be tight defensively as it's a 1-goal game, and every shot matters right now.
Chance for both goalies to take a breath, grab some water, and settle back in. After that flurry, like you said, to start the period, a bouncer here for Matthews. Down in the corner, Trey Deer. Outside, Kruger. Looked like he had room to shoot, elected not to. Already 4 of the 5 Orangeville goals off his stick tonight. Outside rip hits the crossbar. Didn't go any further though, so Weatherup will play it to Oldman. Another kind of nonchalant possession had him reaching for the line. Little John Oldman to the corner, Soroketti. Cut back move, Soroketti headed to the crease, trying to put it over top of this 6'7" Constantopoulos. Here's Costigan, one-on-one with Matthew Ford, backs into the pressure, playing it back to Dylan Sanderson, and he'll pull out and wait for the offense. 6.5 left to go. On the outside, Kruger will spin back. Owen Ron posturing up. Kruger faked his way behind the back of the net, under 10 to shoot. Dylan Sanderson, Ron setting the screen, shot comes right into the W on the chest of Redlick.
That's what he hopes to have at the end of this one, but there's still 6 minutes to go, a tight game.
Can't fly it just yet. Littlejohn all the way across. Lucas Littlejohn actually helping redesign the Whitby logo and jerseys ahead of that 2022 season.
Also 2 sports star. Remember, he won a Minto Cup, but he also won a Buckland Cup with the Pickering Panthers back in
that same year. Back over with Matthews and Deere getting their signals crossed. Weatherup dangerously close to that timeline. Does pull it back down and will give it to Gesso. Outside shot, Soroketti bounced wide. Trey Deere being spied by Littlejohn off to our right. Stayed up in the attacking zone that whole possession. Now Matthews will come join him. Robert Baxter on Matthews. Ball to the far side. Screen coming from Kruger. Liam Matthews got knocked down. No call. Less than 10 to shoot as Trey Deere tries to get away from Lee. Another outside shot that Redlick will just catch. The great goaltenders seem to get better as the game goes on, and you can say the same about both of these two, especially Tide and Redlick.
Yeah, they both are doing great. Kosova's is going to have to be airtight, I think, as well, because the way Redlick's playing right now is another one going to get by him.
Gesso to Belair, twister. Had Constantopoulos looking to his left. That's where the rebound had gone. And played up by Orangeville to Gurry. Looked like he may have had a step on Belair, but last burst of energy and then a pass over the shoulder. Gets it back in the stick of Oldman. Taguri's been out there a while. Oldman to Littlejohn. Jack Oldman will go cross floor. Nolan Byrne with Edwards on him. Tryson Stewart sets the screen. Edwards went down. Stewart with it. Return hit as Little John was shooting. Stewart first one to the bench. Yeah, he got roughed up on that hit just as he was letting his howitzer go. Toval at center, pushed into the glass by Robinson, then down to the floor by Cromer. Sanderson a peek of the clock. There were under 10 to shoot, so he sends another one towards the feet of Redlick. He'll collapse over top of it and send it forward with Nicholas Belmonte. Former Brampton Excelsior, him and Nolan Byrne. Former Excelsiors, as was Nolan Marshall. Graduating offensive player, yet to play for Whitby in these playoffs. Weather up to Belair, to Soroketti. Matthew Ford going to set the screen. Soroketti for Weather up over the top. Rebound here for Belair. And Constantopoulos comes up with it.
Yep, goalies are looking sharp right now. They're going to have to keep it up.
Cohen Jennings for Trey Deer. Matthews to the outside. Ron will put his back into Baxter. Here for Matthews, over the top and in the back of the net.
Oh, and he just had a death stare up here to the Warriors crowd too when he scored that goal. I don't know, that won't call him. And he's like jawing at him too. Not making any friends to Warrior fans is Liam Matthews, but he gets a big goal, his second of the night, and he ties it at 6 with 2:44 to go in regulation. Takes the cross floor feed, gets a bit of a screen, and Redlick hardly moved at it, just did a little flick of the arm, but too little too late as Matthews with a death stare to the Warriors fans here at the Tony Rose. And it's 6-6 on Matthews' second goal of the night.
All tied up here in game number 1. A reminder to download the official Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app and subscribe here for the entire final series schedule once it becomes finalized and released. Aiden Matthews far side. We do know that we'll have a few days off before we head out to the Ontario Festival on Monday night. This will be the primetime matchup on the turf at Iroquois Park Sports Center, walking distance from the GO train. Liam Matthews to Cam Sanderson, who's circled the crease. Couple shoves, takes him down to the floor. Matthews trying again.
It's also the holiday weekend there, the civic holiday. Simcoe Day, I believe they call it in Ontario. So it'll be holiday Monday when game 2 will take place in Whitby.
Whitby just waiting this out. Shovel shot from Little John. He was all tangled up through the middle of that set. Gonna roll back to Byrne.
Ooh.
Dangerously close to the over and back. I think it was okay. So does the official. Here's Little John. One fan base calling for an over and back, one calling for a reset. Soroketti calling for Tryson Stewart. Bringing Stokes all over him. Down for Cohen Jennings, some oohs and ahs. They thought he was off to the races, but Jack Oldman already back. Here's Kruger to Deer. Those two playing catch. Kruger spins back, Trey Deer. Big high step. Returning it for Aiden Matthews on the pick and roll. Outside shot, Ron. This one headed for over and back territory, and that will be the call. Oldman will chase it down for Whitby.
Tense times, Matt, into the final minute. Tied game. Will we need more than 55 seconds to decide this?
Little John from distance scored from center in game 6. And
timeout being called by the Northmen with 43.8 seconds left. So it'll be about a 14-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. So we'll go over there at the Northman bench, trying to draw up a game-winning goal, but there'll still be time for Whitby if they can strike the Northmen. So tense times now. It's been a fun third period, Matt. With a lot of goals early on, and now tight defensively, but a big goal by Liam Matthews here late to tie it up.
I was actually about to say on that last set, you know, Liam Matthews and Trey Deer haven't been their normal deadly selves tonight, and was about to credit the defense, then looked down and saw 2 and 3 from Liam Matthews and 4 assists from Trey Deer. So
yeah, Kruger, Matthews have all the goals.
Yes.
Kruger with 4, Matthews with 2 for the goals, but then it's 6 different goal scorers for the Whitby Warriors. Belair, Gesso, Soroketti, Ford, Stewart, and Littlejohn, who has a number of assists to go with the goal. 4 assists to go along with the 1 goal. As Matthews and Littlejohn go neck and neck for the playoff scoring race lead. I think they're both now around almost at 60 points.
60 points in a playoff run is pretty disgusting, if you ask me, but...
Yep. That's why you count on the big guns when the chips are down.
Here's Liam Matthews. He'll cut back. Passing through to the far side. Dylan Sanderson looked like off of Redlick.
They're giving the Warriors ball, though, and they'll call a timeout.
Timeout. 29.9 left on the clock here, so enough chance for a final shot play.
Liam Matthews hobbling off as well. I don't know if it's hopefully it's just a Charlie horse something, but he's not put much weight in that one on the left. That's the left or the right leg, so didn't know what happened there. If he got caught up on the floor there in that last play, but had to monitor that. So go over at the Warriors bench. Now they have a chance to steal game 1 at the Tony Rose. Northmen only 2 losses in the playoffs. Northmen had been at the Tony Rose, a pair of 8-7 wins by Peterborough on their 7-2 playoff run. And you know, Whitby had a good knack of winning game 1s in previous series, so see what happens. They're gonna hold for last shot. It's gonna be at 30 seconds on the game clock, at 30 seconds on the shot clock. As you look over there at the Orangeville bench, telling their players to hunker down and keep it at least tied and go to extra time, or it might be winner take all, the golden goal for game 1. Well, let's see what happens, Matt. Can the Warriors steal it, or are we going to overtime?
That is the question. We'll find out here as the extra play is on. Assistant equipment manager Mitch has worn his tiger print pajama pants, which he's worn for all 4 of those elimination wins for the Whitby Warriors. He told me he didn't wash them either, but
hey, if you got a good thing going, let's see if it keeps up.
He's done his part, wants the boys to do theirs as we are in for the final play. Weather up over the top of Soroketti. He'll let a shot go. It bounces just wide, all the way back towards center. Picked up here by Coffey, no time to shoot. And we are headed for overtime here in game number 1 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Finals.
Why not? It's been a heck of a game. Why not have some more time? How long will it go? But now it's next goal wins.
It is indeed next goal wins. And, you know, conventional wisdom, going back to your point on the timeout there, would say that this is a Warriors team. They're beat up, they're gassed, they played more games, they played 3 in 3 days. If you talk to anybody on that bench, they actually wanted to get right back into that series after St. Catharines. I don't think they want to be playing 3 in 3. I don't think they want to be playing this much lacrosse, but they didn't want the week-long absence or the half-week absence. We saw it in that first game against Beaches, right? 10-3, kind of surprised the rest versus rust versus energy versus another R word that I can't think of.
And sometimes that's great because I said the team sometimes they have too much rust. I think that's the word maybe looking for. You're off for about a week. All you're doing is practicing, waiting for the action. Orangeville did not have a long break. They only off for a few days. They had a little longer break. They finished out their series on Wednesday. They only had a day off, but still, I think you want to get right back out. If you got the momentum going, you want to keep playing, even if there are a lot of injuries and stuff happening.
So, overtime is next goal wins. We will have a scheduled 10-minute overtime period. If no one scores, we'll send them to the room. Have a 10-minute break, stack them and re-rack them for 20s until we have a winner here tonight. So already a late night for Pat Gregoire. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have I got an early morning flight to catch too. So hopefully I'll make it. He'll see how long we play.
Oh, flight's not bad. I thought you were driving, but
no.
Okay,
it's all good.
Flight's okay.
It's all good. But hey, I'm here. I'm seeing some great lacrosse. Love it. It's going to be a great series, and this will be the tone setter. It's already been a physical one. Who's going to take it? Will Whitby steal game one on the road, or will the Northmen maintain home floor advantage? It's going to be fun, Matt. Let's go.
Well, we've got people making their picks in the chat. I see one for Little John. See a couple for Trey Deer. I see someone looking for an Orangeville transition winner. Not so much for Whitby, although they try off the face-off. Oh, boy. Tested right out of the chute was Evan Constantopoulos.
I'm thinking probably a Kruger or Matthews if you're Orangeville, maybe Trey Deer. He hasn't done anything for goal-wise all night. Let's see.
Costigan to the outside. Dylan Sanderson will cut his way through. One of the Whitby defenders lost their stick. They'll shove Costigan back towards the corner. Big shot opens for Sanderson. Kicked out by Redlick. Sanderson taken down after firing. Owen Ron will chase this back in front of the Whitby bench. They are able to get Eddie Faraday off. He was the man who lost his stick. Although Sanderson's got the ball again. Fakes the low shot, drives over the top. Redlick, another save. And something's up with his... Oh no, he wants to change the ball.
I didn't know what was happening there, but we'll take a bit of a break now. Whitby resets.
I thought it was his stick. We saw him have stick issues back in the St. Catharines series, but wanted to change the ball. A request he made. Back against Toronto. Here's Little John. Soroketti back to the corner, in and out of the stick of Byrne. Tie up between him and Coffey. Nolan Byrne will win that battle. Pull it back, cutting through time. Gesso into the crease. And just off the shoulder of Constantopoulos. Aaron Taguri back after the loose ball. He'll get it away from Gesso, but the 8 count is on here for Orangeville, reaching for the line. Elijah Edwards just able to cross in time. Minute and a half gone here in overtime. Aiden Matthews stops in front of Weatherup. Briefly through the stick of Sean Costigan. Matthews tripped up. Bouncer was headed back in Kruger's direction. He was on his way to the bench as the shot clock sounded.
Yeah, good play there. Cromer was almost off to the race there with that steal. Lucky for Orangeville, he didn't get it.
Doesn't look like Lucas Littlejohn will be out here for this set as he just went back and forth. Nolan Byrne is, however, remember he scored the overtime winner in game 4 against St. Catharines. Tries again off the shoulder of Constantopoulos. Will pick up the rebound. Jack Oldman from the outside. Screen set by Belair. Weatherup around the screen. Oldman went through the crease before he picked up the loose ball. And Liam Matthews, a hard hit down there in the corner. Trey Deer. Matthews gonna stay on, although Deer looks for Kruger. Good option tonight already with 4 goals. Feeding through Ron into the feet of Redlick. Turns it on its head! Oh boy!
Oh my goodness gracious. What a heartbreaker, Matt, for Whitby, but salvation for Orangeville. Oh. That's like the Steve Smith goal from 1986 if you go back to hockey. Oh, what a heartbreaking goal. I feel for the Warriors right now, Matt. But it's jubilation as the Northmen will pick up the win. I believe it'll be Owen Ron's goal. But what a tough one to give up. But here it is on the replay. See Trey Deer racing up the floor. Stumbles a bit. He hits it back. See Owen Ron goes hard to the net. Redlick makes the save. It bounces out. He scoops it and he puts it right off his defender. And it goes into the back of the net. I believe that was Owen Tapper went off of. What a tough one to give up. Heartbreak for the Warriors. Jubilation for the Northmen as they'll take game 1 and retain home floor advantage. I don't know if I've seen a more distraught goal given up in lacrosse in my life. I'm not sure. I know you've done a lot more than me, Matt, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, in the situation they're in, as you said, not just the situation they're in, but, you know, this being the finals, the way that Redlick played throughout, and an own goal bouncing in off the goaltender, not the way you want a game like this to finish. as 7-6 will be your final score here, with the Northmen taking this game and a 1-0 lead in the series.
I'm still in shock up here, Matt. That's just a tough break. I feel for both Tapper and Redlick on that goal. I mean, that's just a tough break. Redlick tried to scoop it out. Tapper was right there, and he hit it off him and in the back of the net. Owen Ron gets credit. So he's the hero on paper, but we'll see what happens. Can the Warriors recover at home on Game 2 on Monday? They fought hard. I mean, give them credit. Third game in 3 days. They probably deserved a better fate than what happened here tonight.
Well, there's no telling how that overtime would go, but as you said, your final score 7-6 here in overtime. Just game 1 of what is scheduled to be a best-of-7 series that will return on Monday evening. We head back to the Iroquois Park Sports Center in Whitby for game number 2 between the Warriors and the Orangeville Northmen. Thanks for tuning in tonight and watching all night long. For Alan Corkum, for Gary Morrison, our producer and director tonight, the JVI Sports Network and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, my name's Matthew Carrick, saying so long from Tony Rosarina. Have a great night. Enjoy the holiday weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday for Game 2 here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Final.